This next one, it says if the reaction ends with 23.7 moles of aluminum, how many grams of oxygen? So this is what we have. We want to know how many grams of oxygen. Now we're just going to work this one backwards. Since we're starting with moles going to grams, the first thing we're going to use is our mole ratio to get it into moles of oxygen, and then we're going to use the molar mass of oxygen to get the grams. Okay, so we know that 1 mole of oxygen equals 32 grams of oxygen. And all we did was we have 2 oxygens, multiplied it by its atomic mass of 16, and got 32. And that's where we got that from. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set it up. Our mole ratio for oxygen to aluminum, we have a 3 to 4 ratio. So we're going to set that up first. We'll see that. We're going to go moles to moles, use our mole ratio, and then moles to gram using our molar mass. So we see that we set it up, and we have a 4 to 3 ratio. This is moles of aluminum, moles of oxygen. And we see that that unit will cancel, and we will be left with just moles of oxygen. And we use our molar mass to get grams of oxygen, and we end up with 569 grams of oxygen. Okay? Again, it's just setting up our ratios. Now, our very last example we're going to use, we're going to go from grams to grams. Okay, grams of A to moles of A, then moles of A to moles of B, and grams of B, or moles of B to grams of B. Now, on this one, what we need to write down is we're going to use 3 conversion factors. We're going to use the molar mass of each compound that we have, and we're going to use the mole ratio as a conversion factor. Okay, we use the molar mass twice. First one, we're going to go from grams of A to moles of A using the molar mass, and then moles of A to moles of B using the mole ratio, and finally moles of B to grams of B using molar mass. In this example, it says if you begin the reaction with 14.5 or 14.45 grams of aluminum oxide, how many grams of aluminum would it end up with? Okay, so we're going to start. We have 14.45 grams of aluminum oxide. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use the molar mass to get it into moles of aluminum oxide. And we've already done the molar mass in the previously, and it's 102 grams of aluminum oxide equals 1 mole of aluminum oxide. Then we're going to use our mole ratio. We used this before as well, going from aluminum oxide to aluminum, and we know that it is a 2 moles of aluminum oxide to every 4 moles of aluminum. Okay, and now that we have it in our moles of aluminum, we can go ahead and take it into grams of aluminum using our molar mass, and we know that 1 mole of aluminum equals 27 grams of aluminum. Just got that right off the periodic table. And we're going to go ahead, working out all nice and neat. Let's look how it looks. We go from grams of aluminum oxide to moles of aluminum oxide, moles of aluminum, moles of aluminum oxide to moles of aluminum, and then moles of aluminum, grams of aluminum. And it looks like this. We see that that unit will cancel, then that unit will cancel, and then that unit will cancel, and we'll be left with the unit that we want, and we'll have 7.647 grams of aluminum. Alright guys, that's it for right now.